How about now? Can you hear me now? Wait a second. Oh, you hear it? Okay, cool. Good deal. I think I figured out what's going on with that. That's cool. Yeah, the deadline's been reached, dude. Trump's deadline for them to comply or die. Uh, they're going to bomb the living shit out of them. Uh, One thing is, it's they're taking out all the bridges and power plants. I hope they don't have any nukes because they're probably going to use one. They seem like they don't give a shit, you know. And come to think of it, looks like Trump don't give a shit either. It's a pissing contest. They're going to just sit there and stare each other down, and it's going to come down to I don't know what, something really fucking nasty. Well, I do kind of know. I think we're gonna bomb the shit out of them, and then all hell's gonna break loose. That they have maybe 100,000 people hidden in our country, or some crazy amount of sleeper cells. You know, they might have only been releasing a couple guys here and there. All of a sudden, everything may go to fucking hell in a handbag. You know, who is control of the White House? Zionist Washington. Yep. You know what? Let Israel fight their own war on that. I don't get it. Don't get me wrong. Iran's done some shit in their time, but this is only going to burn the shit out of us. You're no longer be out. Everybody's going to be screwed. You won't be able to get gasoline. You won't be able to get food. You understanding how bad this can get? People are going to go hungry, and not like, okay, I lost a pound or two. Famine. This could cause famine. If this goes as bad as I think it could go, we're in some deep shit. Just saying, you know? And people don't want to admit it. This could be a really fucking bad thing. Getting ready to happen. Now, a lot of people are like, we'll beat the shit out of them and this and that. The reality is that nobody really wins in a war like this anyway, because it's just going to fucking cripple everything. Everything. No longer are we going to completely dominate. And to prove it, they sat back and fired shitty missiles in the beginning. You know, they used what happened there? Mother live stream just got shut down. What the hell? I must have ran out of battery. Hang on. I thought I had both of them filled. Wait a minute. Fred, can you still hear me? Frickin', I'm so worried about everything else. I somehow overlooked the battery on this one. I wasn't even going to run this one. Well, this one will be out of commission for a minute. Anyway, yeah, we're going to see some fucked up shit coming down the road, I think. Thanks for the thumbs up, by the way. Let me do one thing. Okay, sorry about that. You can hear. All right, cool. I had to hop out of there for a minute. If you got the circle of death. Sorry about that. Yeah, wait a minute. Let me see if the other one's coming back online. So, nah. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's gonna get nasty. A lot of YouTube channels are talking about it right now. One thing is that, like I was saying, people aren't realizing there's going to be no gas to put in your car. Okay, mission accomplished. Fucking the fucking elites, they're going to lock us down, and we can't do anything about it. They're going to take all the gas away from us. If that don't work, they'll have us a lockdown, a power lockdown, and keep us in our fucking houses. and whatever, you know. They've been talking about it for months, but they were trying to figure a way to get us with another pandemic. No, it's going to be just a lockdown. And next thing you know, people are going to get pissed off. People are going to riot. People are going to want Trump out of there. By the way, someone just pulled the plug on or trying to do one of these senators is trying to do a 25th Amendment to get him out of there. Saying came unhinged and is half wacko right now. Opposite of everything what he ran on. Yeah, is that Will? How you doing, Will? You're right. Exactly. And he's changed radically. I'm having trouble seeing this. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hang on 1 second. Let me see if I can thing up a little bit. Okay, I had to put it on all message because half the time I forget that and I miss half the text. America let America. What's it say? America first, America last. Yeah. Yep. That's what's happening. What's that? They'll be. It's just going to cost U.S. $6 a gallon. There might not be any for a while because, well, maybe we probably have some reserves, but they're gonna fucking mark my words. There's already been talk about this that they might try to take out our we call oil refineries in Texas, right along in the Gulf there. You watch if they snuck a fucking nuke or something across from Mexico or in the Gulf, come in on them barges, we're fucked. What's this say? Crazy night. Yep. What's this? A lot of people that aren't happy with Trump. Yeah, dude. I voted for him. I say it all the time, but slowly but surely I started to see something. And people are almost worshiping the guy. You know what I mean? They're like, he can do no wrong for all that time. That's what kind of made me scratch my head and look at it. It's like, something doesn't feel right. He did do a lot of good shit there for a while. Getting Biden the hell out of there stopped a lot of damage. But I feel like it was the plan all along was to do what they did, and maybe Trump's gonna fucking drag us into Armageddon here. What's it say? Yeah. Washington's a mess. What's it say? Yeah, they are. Things are getting really crazy, dude. And you know what they're gonna do? Well, one of the things is to keep talking about an alien invasion, you know? Why all of a sudden right now? Why now? We're going to come out and tell you about these UFOs are for real and there's aliens and talk about distraction. I'm not saying that they don't have something to tell us there, but you know what? These aliens that they're talking about, I think are nothing more than demons, interdimensional demons, not actually from another planet. I think this is end times, in my opinion. You know? Hey, how you doing? What's up, Doc? Good seeing you. Just talking about the shit going on. It's about to go up into Armageddon here. Trump gave him a deadline. As far as I know, that deadline's just about up. A lot of people are talking about this right now. I saw Steve Ram has a live stream going right now, and two other people, and they're all saying pretty much the same type of stuff. What's that say? End of days is right. That's what I feel like's going on. Yep. So, you know what? It is, I hate to say it like this, but it is what it is. Like, I don't even feel phased anymore. It's like we're numb to all the shit after a while from hearing about all the crazy shit. It's hard to even, I don't know. Like the other day, I was pissed. I was on here. I was pissed off. But every now and then it's like fatigue from worrying about the shit we can't do much of anything about other than pray. What's this? If you believe we actually went to the. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Trying to what? Yeah, exactly. Set up child care on the moon. Oh, yeah, what's that? Is that for real? Ah, man. That wasn't just a moon launch. That was a ritual. Artemis 2 is the name of that ship they went up in. Take the symbolism on the sides of the rocket, even. They had a crescent moon. It has to do with Artemis, the huntress, the Greek god, and Orion, I believe, is something to do with the capsule. And the thing is wait a minute, hang on. What's it say? How you doing? Shake the stars from the sky. I remember you, brother. How you doing? Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. It's going to go up even higher, dude. Anyway, I was telling him that this whole rocket that went up there, the whole deal is actually a ritual. And the weird thing is, like I said, the symbols on the side of it, there's like that A that looks like you remember Star Trek has the that A there, and I think Space Force has it like on their thing. Anyway, there's the A and Roman numeral two ones is A11. So if you look at it now, here's the thing with the ritual and the excuse me, and the Greek mythology that's entering into this stuff, because these elites are into this shit. A11 is Apollo 11. Apollo was the twin of Artemis in Greek mythology. And what's this? I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. I'm sorry. We'll be working the day we die. Yeah, yep. Yeah, that's kind of screwed up. I want a day off. If I know they're going to blow us up, I'm taking that afternoon to fuck off. If you don't laugh, you're going to cry, man. It's a fucked up thing to even think about that. Yep. Doubt that we'll possibly get universal income. Yeah, they're saying that if we do, it'll be for a week. Here you go. We can't do it anymore. You got to go over here and do this camp. With the razor wire on it, you can go live in there for free for as long as, you can live without food or, it's fucking concentration camp time, 15-minute concentration camps. And it's not just because it's small and everything's only 15 minutes. That's how long you'll last in there, about 15 minutes. Yeah, 15-minute cities, exactly, Doc. Anyway, to get back to what I was saying, is Artemis is the huntress, and the crescent moon, I believe, is connected to that. And it was kind of weird because right now we're fighting with Iran and everything. And the Muslim world, the crescent moon's an important symbol. And on top of that, what I was saying with the A11 was the A for Artemis, the rocket that went up, and it was actually Artemis 2, and they had Roman numeral 2, which is 11 in a sense. It's 1 and 1. So it's A11. Watch out for April 11th. That's what I'm thinking. That's what they're telling you. On the side of the thing, I think it says A11, right? Well, you know what happened on A11? Apollo 13 caught fire and blew up on the launch pad. Blew up. That's the one that got back to Earth. Tom Hanks made a movie of it. But I just thought that was weird. And that happened on the 11th of April, which is this month. And April is the month that is designated for Artemis, the goddess. That's one of the birthdays, the end of March or something. Apollo 1. That was Apollo 13 is what I heard. Wait a minute, hang on. Also, they had on the uniform, one of them, I guess the the commander of that mission has a 3 on each shoulder, 33. All these little ritualistic symbols are hidden in there. And I was looking at some of this, and it's crazy. They're still doing that kind of shit right in plain sight. Apollo 13 is right. Yep. So, to some reason, it means a whole hell of a lot. Probably because they don't believe in the same God most people do. They're into the small g gods, the ones that came down, the fallen angels that they're calling gods, and that their bloodline has been worshiping all along, the blue bloods, which I believe is where the Nephilim comes from, the fallen angels that they were worshiping, you know. And what's this Apollo 1 capsule called Fire on the launch pad? Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, you're right, because that's the one where Ashby, White, and what was the other guy? 3 of them got burned up right on the. You're right about that. Which is it was crazy as hell. The other one was Tom Hanks wrote a thing. Ashby, White, and what was the other guy's name? There was like a saying that Ashby got white. White got white hot. Ashby got turned to ash, and it was another guy. And my science teacher, this is how he told us to remember the 3 astronauts. I'm like, yeah, the other one, I forgot it anyway, so he fucked up. But it was, I guess it was a sick humorous kind of thing. There was one more, and I'm drawing a blank. Ashby, White, and I don't know. Wait a minute. Just like King Solomon said, nothing new under. Yeah, right. Hang on one second. I can't believe I literally forgot that, because I thought that was the sickest joke my science teacher ever said. That and the other one, he was talking about the difference between sulfuric acid and water. I do remember this. There once was a kid named Willie, but Willie is no more, because what he thought was H2O turned out to be HOSO4, which is sulfuric acid. In other words, this guy was a sick pup. What's that? They looked guilty as all out when they came back from the moon. Yeah. Marijuana grew first on King Solomon's grave. Apollo 11. Wasn't that? No, but Tom Hanks did Apollo 13, the movie. But there was an Apollo 11. Hang on, wait a minute. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find the other guy's name because it's going to drive me nuts. Give me a second. And if I can get my phone to work, I'm in business here. Here you go. Who were the 3 astronauts that burned up on the launch pad? Here you go. Ashby, White, and who's the third one?
The astronauts who died in the Apollo 1
Gus Grissom got turned to
Edward H. White II.
Here it is.
Roger B. Chaffee. They died during a test on January 27th,
Edward
1967,
White, Chaffee.
because of a fire caused by an
I thought
electric
Ashby was on there. No, it was Grissom, White, and Chaffee. And the guy said that White got white hot, and Grissom got turned to gristle, and the other guy, Chaffee, got chafed or something. He had all these sick jokes to remember different things that the science teacher had. All right, so what do we got? Landed on the moon. Oh, okay. Apollo 13 was supposed to on the moon, but didn't. Right, exactly. Hanks actually did that movie. He, I think that was his idea to do that movie, according to what I saw. Houston, we have a problem. Yeah, he got caught. Tom Hanks had a problem, all right. He's a sick pup. Yeah, Tom Hanks. He got caught and ran over to Greece. I think he was hiding out over Greece. You know about all that shit. Sick pup that he is. What the fuck? What, his son or something had some issues. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about Tom Hanks. He was a scumbag. Yeah, so that one burned up right on the launch pad. And then you have go forward a couple decades, whatever, when the shuttle caught fire. That also was fucked, or blew up. Sorry, didn't catch fire. Blew the fuck up. I remember that. And it was all kind of weird shit said about that. And you know what? I think the Artemis program is just scientific. What's also, if you think about it, Artemis was go with the bow, okay? Here's the deal. Nimrod fired an arrow on top of the Tower of Babel, supposedly, challenging God. And in a sense, people are saying that was kind of what we're doing with these rockets getting shot up, hitting the firmament and whatever. I don't know whether you believe that or not, but I think they do. I think that hang on. 90% of Hollywood is involved in the Epstein files. Yeah, that's probably a conservative estimate right there, dude. You know? And if the reason it's not coming out is because if it does, they're all done. Like they're gonna fall like dominoes, you know? Keep it as quiet as what's this? The first Artemis landing on moon will be yeah, you're right, exactly. It might have been go back to that who the hell's the guy that owns the elite guy, fucking can't come up with that guy's name, that he just fired a rocket about a year ago with all women on it, and it was like fake as shit. Damn, I can't do it. It's the fucking Amazon guy. Bezos. Yeah. Do you remember that bullshit? That was like a I don't know what they were doing with that, but again, symbolism. You know? Jim Lovell and Tom Hanks met. Said Tom Hanks studied with interest. Yep. Yeah, that's weird. Jeff Bezos, yep. What's this? For the movie Apollo 13, yep. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, it's weird because a lot of the shit, do you remember when they went down in that, I don't know what you call it, not a bathyscaphe, deep sea for the Titanic a little while ago, a couple years ago, and those guys died, it got crushed. It's basically like a tinfoil fucking submarine under all the pressure that in there. But I mean, that also, in my opinion, that might have been a ritual too. Those people died, maybe a sacrifice. Who knows? What's it say? I'm surprised that the queers are not trying to claim them. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Well, they're going to blow up. Iran's going to hit San Francisco with a nuke. And now I guess they'll have to move to the moon. All the people haul ass out of there. What's that? My favorite Tom Hanks movie is Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, that's a pretty good movie. I'm trying to think what the other one he did. It was shit. He's kind of a freak, though. I've heard some. Oh, did you ever see that movie, Catch Me If You Can? He was like a detective, FBI agent chasing down. Wasn't Matt Damon? It was Leo DiCaprio, who was like a fraud. He was running around pretending he was at all kind of other different things. That was a pretty good movie. Artemis 2, moon mission breaks record for distance from Earth. Oh shit. Yep. Now, what about the Van Allen belts? Does anybody 100% think for sure we really landed on the moon and all that? I wonder. Forrest Gump. Yeah, that was probably, you're right, that was probably even better than the other one. Yep. Yeah, I don't know that I believe we were really on the moon. But who knows? You know what? That's a major distraction. All this shit right now, it's just trying to keep you away from thinking about getting right with God, in my opinion. They're traveling on the dark side of the moon. Yep. Yeah, I think it's all just distraction. A lot of it, and the same with all of a sudden they're talking about UFOs and there's people missing, generals and people that were involved with these UAPs. They changed the name. Notice that they don't call them UFOs anymore because there's no credibility in that. So they had the UAP to make it sound different, so you can't get laughed at if you mention it. You know. I think it's all bullshit. I think, you know what they'll find in those UAPs or whatever, demons. That's what I think. It's funny that everything's culminating right now. Everything in the world is going exactly now, chaos. And they were calling for that. That's their whole epitaph or their whole, you know, thing, that mantra, you know, order out of chaos, you know. And if you look back at, you know, right after the Civil War, there was a General Albert Pike. He was a Mason, master Mason back in the day, and he wrote a prediction or had a vision of the end where we were going to have a third world war, and everything he predicted is coming to pass right around now anyway. What's this? There are a bunch of coincidence between Trump and the Antichrist. You know what? I'm starting to think maybe they're not coincidences. Maybe he's really, some of the shit he's saying all of a sudden is off the hook, you know? And so many people are buying into the God, like the God can do no wrong, you know? The fact that if you question, you say, well, wait a minute, what the hell? What's Trump doing now? They get pissed, all right? But you know, it's weird. They've turned into the same people that they hated. You know, in the beginning, I was cheering Trump on, but the fact of the matter is this. The left was saying, oh, you guys are deniers. You're fucking crazy. You're conspiracy theory. Now it's starting to turn the other way around. It's weird. You wonder if it's been written into the script like this. Like now Trump's doing shit. And people are turning, and what's that say? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yep, that's true. That's weird that you say that because there's another Tom Hanks movie, The Road to Perdition. Now that we're talking about this stuff, what we got here? He's a genius. He is taking control of the world. Okay. Knuckles. Maybe lay off the dope for a little while. Now, you know what? If he's such a genius, yeah, he might be a genius, but you know what? What he's doing now is stupid. And you know why? Because he's continually letting his ego get bruised. Because he's screaming and yelling that Iran better surrender now. You know what? They're just going to give you the big middle finger. You already bombed them halfway into the Stone Age. And they're probably used to living in caves and shit, you know, some of those people over there. So they're just going to try to hang tight. Also, weren't using their good munitions early on. They sat on. They were using garbage missiles. Why they weren't hitting us? Our planes were left alone. We're getting cocky. We're flying lower. And, you know, not giving a shit, thinking that we ruled the skies over there. Well. Now they're breaking out their good ammunition, and we used a hell of a lot of ours. Basically, they're using Sun Tzu strategy, the Chinese philosopher. You know, when you're strong, act weak. And when what's this say? Wait a minute. Hang on. Think about how many countries need Iran's oil. You're right. I just wish this shit would stop, because we're like I said, there's not going to be no food or nothing coming into the countries. Oil is running everything. Take the oil out, what's cars going to run on? You won't be able to go to work. I mean, yeah, if you work down the street or something, it'll just cause a hell of a mess pretty soon. For a while, we can go on, but I don't know how long that while is, in my opinion. Cursing and raging, what's that? That's not professional or presidential either. I'm speaking of Trump. I thought you were talking about me, because I do curse and rage some days. 2 days ago, and I apologized to anybody that got offended. I was fucking pissed just looking at shit going on in the world. But I got on there and did a 3-minute thing the other day talking about it, because I felt like, man, I let anger get the better of me the other day, and I wondered if I pissed anybody off. Sometimes you got to blow off steam. Next is Cuba. Yeah, but what's Cuba got that we need right now? Sand? Yeah, there's nothing down there. The only real country that hurts from this war because of Iranian oil is China. No, you're right, but you know what? We'll hurt too. China will hurt a lot worse. So is that going to trigger China? And we're going to have issues with them? I know it wasn't me. I know, Will. I get it. What's that say on Easter Sunday, too? Oh, about, what he was saying was crazy. Yep. I was ranting and raving on Easter Sunday. No, the day before. And I did a 3-minute video apologizing in case I offended anyone, because I was just, smoke felt like it was coming out of my ears by the end of that. What's it say? He's helping Putin making millions, selling their oil now to these countries. Yep. In Cuba, millions. Well, Cuba doesn't have shit down there, really. They're going to get put in the dark too. Real estate, all right. Yeah, not a whole hell of a lot. You could put Guantanamo's down on Cuba. What's this? On Easter Sunday, couldn't he just be quiet for one day? Yeah, I agree. Yep. Yeah, and he said something that some people are saying he was trolling, or just being arrogant, or did he flip his lid? He's like, praise Allah. After that, what's that? Wished I'd seen the meltdown. It's still up there, I think. It wasn't major meltdown, but I was, and I'm like, nobody's saying this, and I'm thinking back. I hope, people don't take offense, but it feels like we're all just sitting here watching all this bullshit go down. But I don't know what the fuck I expect people to do, because it's frustration. Basically the whole world's going down the shitter, and I'm yelling, why isn't anybody doing anything? Well, same reason I'm sitting here bitching, being real about it. There's nothing much we can do. It was funny. You heard me. Yeah, sometimes I get like that, and I just want to fucking go off. So never take anything I say to heart, or think I'm yelling at just people on the live stream, because I was worried that people might have thought, man, they probably think that I'm a dickhead now saying shit. So I got on there. What's that? Millions in real estate. What do you mean? Who's got the millions in real estate? Cuba? Or I don't know what you mean. You're saying something about Cuba there. Personal meltdowns. Yeah. I started off in a relatively good mood, but I could feel it in the back of my mind wanting to just fucking snap. Oh, Cuba? Cuba's poverty-stricken, dude, though. I don't think they have much of anything. Maybe a couple old stale Cuban cigars over there still. You know, Castro left for whoever comes along. Yeah, I just every now and then, dude, I come on here. You know, another thing I find, OJ was like, "What the fuck?" Exactly. OJ sitting back there quiet, and all of a sudden he come up. And he just kind of looked at me like, "What the fuck?" Exactly. What's that? After they get rid of the Cuban dictator. Yeah. What about Colombia? You want them to take Colombia down too? They were just about ready to go in there. You know, get coffee out of there at least. Some cocaine. I mean, Trump's just like, it reminds me of the imperialism from way back in the day, where like the Dutch and the English and the Germans and everybody hopped on ships and went and conquered these places. You know, Christopher Columbus, he wasn't really an imperialist, but that's what's going on, man. Everybody's trying to grab up some real estate, you know? Yeah. Then you got, what the hell, Greenland. You know, at least I understand why Trump wants Greenland, and it makes a lot of sense. My brother was saying the same thing yesterday, because it's a buffer between Russia and China coming across and hitting us with nukes, ICBMs or something. They could put radar stations up there and see them coming and all kind of other shit. There's ice up there. Norwegian, what's that? What's it? Hey, hey, Memory, how you doing? So I understand why he wants it and everything. And it seemed to me that maybe Greenland was considering, you know, joining America, but they're owned by, was it Norway? Is that who it is? Or, am I right on that? That's not right, is it? Hotels, casinos, Greenland. For the dump. Yeah. They also have a shit ton of minerals and oil up there too, evidently. Denmark. Sorry, I always mix that up with Norway. I'm sure a lot of Norway is, I believe it's near Finland, if I'm not mistaken. But Greenland is for the Gilded Dome. Oh, all right. Right. It was basically a defensive thing to keep missiles and shit from hitting the U.S., I'm assuming. And he's kind of right in a way. However, when he goes and says, we're just going to go up and take it, I don't like the sound of that, just in general. I never respected assholes, you know, bullies and assholes that come along and try to steal shit because they can. That's the kind of mentality it sounded like. Like, well, we're just going to take it. Fuck that, you know? I don't know. How's that look in the rest of the world, you know? We're going to be the assholes of the world? You know what I mean? That's what I thought. What's this? Not working for Israel. Yeah, we're fighting wars and shit for Israel. You know what? I'm not hearing much about Israel getting involved. I mean, I know they're bombing back and forth. I heard Tel Aviv is getting hit hard over there. But why the fuck are we there? Why are we getting so wrapped up in this? What are we going to get out of this? And realistically, Iran did not hit us recent time with anything in the continental U.S. And sure, they've been talking about a nuke, but they haven't had one supposedly yet. We're 2 weeks away. They've been saying that for fucking 30 years. And Israel come over and bomb, you know, they're where they're making them and shit. So I don't know. I think, you know, Israel's more afraid that they're going to get hit with one. What's this? Trump wants to take over other countries. Like, why? Yeah. What's that? Not working for. Wait a minute. He wants to control the oil, so he controls these countries. Yeah, it's all like they're all trying to be in control. It's all about power. The Israelis already said they're not I can't read that. They're not committing troops on the ground in Iran. Well, then why the fuck should we? See what I'm saying? That, you know what it reminds me of? Like, you ever been like, remember back when you were a kid in school and somebody's trying to instigate a fight, get you to fight somebody else for their entertainment in half the schoolyard, and say, oh, this guy said this and that guy said that, you know, trying to get everybody to, you know, work on your last nerve, and like, meanwhile they sit back and do nothing but instigate the whole fucking thing. Trump's not calling a shot. Yeah, I agree. Yep. The Israelis they're not committing truth. Yeah, I saw that. Supposedly Trump helped Israel because if they didn't, Israel was going to use nukes. Well, you know what? I still don't. That's bullshit. No, I mean, it's not bullshit. I don't want to get dragged into Armageddon for this, because they weren't doing shit to us right now. You go back to 1977. Yeah, they took our hostages, and we crashed a couple helicopters trying to go and save them and all this when Carter was in office. And yeah, they did other things. But recently they did take some prisoners. However, I just said, leave them be and fucking come over here and live our lives. You know, basically what happened with the Monroe Doctrine, wasn't that staying out of everybody else's business and we did our own thing and let them, I just feel like, you know, did NATO come over and help us? See what I'm saying? They're fucking walking away every time it's time to pony up, you know, and, you know, pay their share. It's like Europe too. They don't want to pay anything, but they want us to keep chipping in and doing all the heavy lifting. Well, fuck that. You know, that's bullshit. I don't want no part of that myself. You know, that doesn't make any sense. Why we got to keep, and that's why I do agree in the beginning with Trump, you know, make America great again. I understand what he was saying. We were getting abused. You know, we were like the policemen of the world, and we're the ones taking all the shit and, you know, having to pay for everything. And that's why I put the tariffs up there. But I think he started going too far with the tariffs and stuff. And then we were supposed to actually see that come back to us. When? Like, I thought Trump said, oh, everybody's going to get a nice stimulus. And all. I didn't see anything coming my way or anybody else's way as far as, what's that say? Trump's not calling the shots. Yeah, it's probably Rothschilds or somebody way high up there, some elite scumbag calling it. What's this? Wait a minute. When the energy, the energy crisis that they're going to lock us down with, that they're just going to run us out of everything, you know. We didn't have to be in this position. They couldn't get us in another fucking, wait a minute, what's that? BlackRock controls your skyrocketing electric bill. One more nail in the coffin. Just saw something come across the top up there, a video. It's another thing. BlackRock and all those assholes, all these millionaire elites, they're the ones that making everything go up, and they're the ones pushing for the data centers, collecting all this shit on every human being on the planet, which is requiring billions of dollars of electricity and everything else. Meanwhile, they're doing rolling blackouts, and grandma and grandpa can't, you know, turn on an air conditioner in the summer or turn the heat on because, you know, their power's shut off to supply the fucking spy equipment that they got, the fucking data centers where they're keeping records on us like we're criminal scum. I'm tired of it. You know what? I'm cheering for Iran, as a matter of fact. They said they're going after a data center. Did you see that? Over in the UAE, or what's that? The United Arab Emirate. They're going to hit that with missiles. Good, go ahead. I don't give a fuck about the data centers. That's bullshit. It's a digital prison they're building right around us. You know, everything's going to be fucking digital this, digital that, digital money, They don't like what you're saying. Boom, they're going to cut everything off. You're going to be shit out of luck. It's social credit scores and shit. Thank you, Knucklehead. Appreciate that. Knuckles, sorry. I called you Knuckles. I didn't really. Thank you. Appreciate that, dude. Yes. Yeah, evidently, yeah. Plays the 3D chess and all that, the whole 9 yards. You know, it's weird. Do you guys ever hear the thing about, and I say this all the time, about Trump's uncle, John Trump, was a professor over in Harvard, I believe it was. And when Nikola Tesla died, he was friends with John Trump. FBI came in, raided Tesla's lab, took all the blueprints to different shit. And evidently, John Trump got some of that stuff. And just recently, I guess Trump was trolling. He said he was a time traveler and everything. Now, the weird thing is, go look up Ingersoll Lockwood's book from the 1890s about Baron Trump and the last president. There's a book. How the fuck did that happen? What's going on with that? Is that... Wait a minute. Hang on. Yep. MIT. Is that... Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think he was in Harvard. I think you're right. Wait a minute. What's going on? Did we have a bunch of trolls in there? Don't I get... yeah. Wait a minute. I had to bring that one back up. Hey guys, don't you get tired of complaining, buddy? No, I'm not. I'm speaking up so people can wake the fuck up. Some young dumbass, whatever. Let me get him out of there. Tyler yapping, yeah. Anyway, I always see you angry in here. Makes this... No, because you know why, dude? Because young kids today are gonna fall for the same shit. You know what? Take a chill. No, that's the last thing I should be doing. I feel that if I sit here and don't say anything, I'm no better than some of the people during World War II that allowed Auschwitz to happen and all that. People could have spoke up. People could have done something. I don't want to see that happen again. I'm 62 years old. I heard stories from my father who had a ship sunk out in World War II and told me a lot of shit. So I just look at things different than the young people. Sorry, dude. It is what it is. We're truly all in danger. And people need to be wide awake, but above and beyond your physical being, you got to stop from losing your soul, because this is a war, a spiritual war. And don't take the mark. That's basically my message that I try to get out. What's this guy saying? Bro, we are the best country in the U.S. Right, that's all great and fine and dandy. But you know what? It ain't going to mean shit real soon, dude, because God's coming back. Jesus is coming back. Judgment Day is coming. It'll be the greatest at anything in the physical world, but we're not going to be in a physical world pretty soon, dude. It's all going to be smoked, you know? Time to get right. That's the way. Yep. You know, I'm just saying. I feel obligated to speak because I saw my dad dinner time. I'd be asking about World War II. He'd break down in tears. He saw things that were horrendous, and I don't know. It just affected me, you know, hearing that. And he didn't want to talk about this shit. And being a little kid, I was curious what he did in the war and everything. I thought it was the coolest thing that my dad, you know, he won the Silver Star and all this other shit, had a ship sunk out. And I felt proud that he did that, but he never felt anything good about that. He basically, to the day he died, remembered all the people that didn't come back. he was dying of cancer, and he was senior vice commander over at the VFW, and he would plant flags, suffering with cancer, go out on parades on Veterans Day, put the flags out, and go and visit and play bingo, call bingo for the guys that lost their legs and had to live in a fucking nursing home for the rest of their lives for defending our country. So that's why I speak up. I have a different opinion and outlook on things because I'm from a different generation from a lot of the younger people that come on here and they don't get it. And I'm just trying to wake them up to what came and went. Just saying, dude. Ingrates taking over the world, right? Yeah, thank you, dude. I know sometimes I get out of control, but you know what? I know sometimes it makes for good viewing because that's ones where I get views. People hang around to look at the maniac. Look at the maniac. He's screaming his head off, and I laugh about it. But it's an outlet too because the shit does bother me. I'm coming to the end of my life soon, and there's kids coming up, growing up, that are going to fall in the same pits and snares and traps that we had to learn the hard way. So I'm just speaking out with what I think's coming. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I have a conscience, and it would bother the shit out of me if one day I'm sitting here and realize I could have done more, and now we're all enslaved because people didn't stand up. And that's basically it in a nutshell. Thank you for that, Doc. Yep. And being a kid, that seems interesting as shit. You don't know the trauma and I had a brother that was in Vietnam, so, I was very patriotic growing up and seeing that. But I didn't understand. He couldn't hardly talk about it. And I kept dinner time asking questions. And he'd break down in tears. And my dad, to me, was my hero. I seen him do shit, for people who had nothing, My cousin, he was losing his house, him and his new wife, and they just had a baby. And my dad had a business. He took a big chunk of money out of the business to go and save his ass. And he never asked for a dime of it back. That's the kind of guy my dad did things. And like I said, he was dying of cancer and still thinking of other people. So it kind of affected me in watching that going on. What's this? Yes. And everybody's got people in their families that served. And we'll never know. If we weren't there, we won't really know. But I kind of pick up a vibe of what it might have been like, and it seems like it was hell on them. I mean, post-traumatic stress is a bitch, and I think some of that does wear off on the children from seeing their father, who's the image that they look up to, maybe going through all that kind of hell. It affects you. What's that? My dad was in Yep, there you go. An Asian theater, World War II. No shit. So, and as a kid though, weren't you I was constantly curious. And, you watch Hollywood and the movies, make war look glorious and stuff. It's anything but that when your buddy gets blown to bits right in front of you, My dad literally saw somebody get cut in half on the ship. They were towing a British ship. His second ship he was on was the Merino. It was a fleet tug, and it was a Battle of Sicily, I think. And they were towing a British warship, possibly a battleship or something, got caught. Somehow came in too close and was caught in a sandbar or something somehow. And they were pulling them off with tow line, and a ship come running through and cut the line. And the commander of the British ship told the guy, "You come through that again." They said another line, "We're going to open fire on you." And it was an ally ship, but it was accidentally. But when that wire snapped, it came flying back and cut a guy right in half. It was on my dad's ship. He saw that shit. Another time when they were getting bombed, The they had something called scuba divers. I think they're called. They're not scuba divers, Skuka or Stuka maybe. German planes, and it had these sirens on the back fin of the, of the plane, and it would be screaming as it's coming down, like, and psychological warfare. So you're trying to shoot a gun at this thing's coming right at you. They seen shit that would fucking melt your mind, What's that say? Well, so much respect. Yep. Yeah, and that affected me, and that's why I come on here. And in a sense, I feel like I'm keeping my dad alive in memory, because my dad would be here speaking up right now. It's, and like I said, to even hear some of them stories, I had to keep after him. And, he, like I said, we'd be like into dinner and he's eating, everything's okay. And I'm asking him questions. He's all right for a while. All of a sudden, something just like, it's like a dam broke, He had like fucking serious trauma happen. And you know what? He never sought help for it. He just went out and raised 9 kids, went out to work and never put his head under his arm and crawled out to work. That's a fucking hero that can go through that and never forget the people that got left behind. And that's why he joined the VFW and did all the things. Yeah. It affected me because I watched it, hey, what's up? Those. Hang on 1 minute. Them people were not type of people that would climb a mountain. They were the type of people that would build a mountain. You're right. It was a different time, dude. Which is my partner, son in Navy, Halifax, Nova Scotia. There you go. Going to Arctic. Been in Arctic quite a bit. Yeah, I wonder, you know what? The next thing is just thinking about Antarctica. Why is nobody claiming that? There's got to be all kinds of shit down there. I would think there's probably oil. Well, they got some kind of treaty or something about Antarctica that nobody's claiming it. There's different bases in there from different countries. And I wonder if it's something to do with literally, maybe that's where Nephilim are hiding, where, shit right out of the Bible's happening, What's this say? Yep. Yeah, Fred's cool. Yep. What's up, OJ? You guys see OJ over here? I think he's waiting on it. You hungry, buddy? I gave him his dinner earlier. I'll hook him up in a minute. Anyway, I don't expect kids, when I say kids, people way younger than me, to think the same way I do. But I gotta fucking remember, they're from another generation. It's the same thing. They should remember that we're from another generation and we've seen things they haven't seen yet. And if we're speaking up about them, it's because we're trying to spare them the bullshit that you got to go through to learn that. The wisdom, passing down knowledge so they don't have to make the same fucking mistakes going forward. And that's what we got to do. Instead, the elites want to dumb down our children with these schools that are teaching that, there's 72 genders. And, if you feel like a cat today, you can go take a shit in a litter box instead of going to the bathroom in a lavatory. It's fucked up. They're messing people up. Anyway, because the schools is where it all begins with, they don't even fucking say the Pledge of Allegiance. You're not allowed to pray unless you're Muslim. Man, you can bring a rug in, chill over in a corner and talk to Allah all afternoon and shit. And they won't say nothing, but don't bless yourself or, be a Christian there. By the way, I put a video up the other day. It was a short And this is a real deal. You can look this up. There's school buses out there, and I actually took on the video was from a picture of a school bus. I was behind, and I had like an AI devil jump out of the back of the thing. Right. Well, here's the deal. Look real close at the lenses on the brake lights. They're fucking on upside down stars or pentagrams. Go look up, Google Tennessee 2015. A parent raised holy hell about that. She was following a school bus, and it turned out that was a big deal, that they're sneaking in there, Satanists, but you can't say a prayer or have a moment of silence or a cross or a flag on the wall unless it's a rainbow flag. What the fuck's wrong? What happened today that you can't have traditional things that you grew up with? You know, they're trying to fuck everything up and everybody up, you know? That's what I think. Is there anybody even in the chat? Can you guys hear me? I guess they booted everybody out. Or everybody left. Wait a minute. Yeah, it says 0 people. Did I run off? What? Did I run everybody off? Wait a minute. Oh. Hang on. What's going on? Thanks for the thumbs up, though. I do have 6 of them up there. I don't know what's going on with that. Can you guys hear me? Is there anybody left in there? It says 0. Was everybody booted out? Or did everybody leave? Huh. Sit here for a moment. What's up? OJ's talking. What's up, Oj? Well, I think I'll just end the live stream. I don't know if people are still on there. It says 0 right now. I had like 5 or 7 in there a little while ago. So, yeah, I'm going to kill the live stream. Oh, wait a minute. What, buddy?